Right, so we have our first guest.
We do.
Come on in.
Has just flown in to see us.
G'day, Olaf. How are you?
Hi, Mike. Hi, Raj. Good to be here.
Yeah, awesome
Excellent.
to have you here. So,
Olaf, Deigel. Wonderful. So we've only got one question prepared. You've heard us banter before, so you know how this is going to roll.
Oh, yes.
Excellent.
And you're going to have to ask the tough question first.
We've only got
that's
the one tough question
very
first.
tough.
Raj, would you like to do the honours today?
What makes you happy?
For me, 3D printing, cool toys to play with. That's what drives me, gets me out of bed every day.
Yep.
Wicked.
But that's not the real question, is it?
Well, it's up to
What
you.
else makes you happy then?
Okay. What else makes you happy then?
I've got a dog. That makes me happy
Oh,
too.
very nice.
Technology, I love technology because it never sits quiet. It changes all the time, so you never get bored. Every month, every 2 months, every 6 months, you got new stuff coming out, and it keeps changing. And that changes the way you live, changes the way we do things.
And you're talking about the future of manufacturing.
Yeah,
And
that's
particularly
right.
3D printing or all of it?
All manufacturing, connected devices, the Internet of Things. But yeah, my area of passion is additive manufacturing or 3D printing, which is just a new way of manufacturing stuff that you couldn't do before.
So I'm not sure. Again, I do this all the time. In my mind, 3D printing, when I last saw it, which was years ago, you could print a toy about yay big, and it was a bit flaky.
Yep.
So we've moved on slightly.
It's moved a lot, particularly materials, metal, sort of titanium, gold, stainless steel.
3D printing gold.
Oh yeah, I mean that's printed gold and titanium. I mean you can do all sorts of amazing things that you couldn't have done.
Nut on it.
Yeah. And
That's
this is
pretty
production
cool.
parts. You can actually print the part to sell to the product. And in the old days, it was prototyping. You tested an idea, you printed little plastic Yoda figurines,
That's
that sort of
the
stuff.
one, yes.
That's changed a lot.
phone
Now
covers.
it's being used by companies to make product, to make car parts, to make rocket parts, airplane parts.
Holy maloney.
It has moved along since then.
So is there anything you can't print off? I do remember... Oh, actually, no, I'll tell you what. I got a friend of mine back in Wellington made me a pipe.
Yep.
We went to the Hobbit.
That's very politically incorrect. But
Yeah, no, we went to the Hobbit, so we needed a Hobbit
movie
pipe
pipe,
and stuff.
movie
There's nothing in it. My son had it, actually. And it was made out of wood.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. It's, in theory, you can print anything, but economically, doesn't make sense to. If a part is simple, there's better ways of making it.
Okay.
So it's got to be complicated, geometry complicated parts that you couldn't make any other ways. That's where you're starting to add value. Making parts that are 50% lighter, so they cost less on the airplane to fly. Parts that are custom made so that when they implant them into you, they fit you perfectly. That's where additive manufacturing really adds value.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just another expensive manufacturing technology.
So it's, printing a pipe, well, just go and make a pipe.
Pretty much, unless, if you're doing it as a dragon and, really cool. Yeah.
Well, it was. You're right. It was
Now you're
bespoke,
talking.
I suppose.
Yeah, a Yoda pipe.
Yeah. A Yoda pipe. Now it's all. I want one of them.
Yoda pipe.
Who likes a Yoda pipe?
New
like
market.
that. What's the most complex? So where do you your work in your life, is it in the design of it or?
Yeah, I mean, I work in product development, so it's
Okay.
getting products to market faster.
Yeah.
And 3D printing is just one of the many technologies we use to help that. And I do all sorts of products. I
Yeah.
do, all sorts of funky things. I never get bored because it's always something new every week, every month, doing new stuff.
What's the one that someone, the client said, right, I need this thing printed, I need 1 billion of them or whatever. What's the thing you went, ooh?
Probably one of the cool ones I've done, this is probably 6 months ago, was a little portable distillery for executives. So it's printed in aluminium, so when executives are bored, they can sit at their desk and distill a bit of schnapps and stay happy.
Stay happy. What makes you happy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, normally I do gears, I do sort of engineering parts. This was one of the more fun projects that was sort of just pure creativity, and that's a lot of fun.
What a cool idea.
Is there anything that you would have to go, nah, it's not ready yet?
Oh, it's not a perfect technology. It's one of the problems with 3D printing. A lot of people think it's easy, and it's not. It's actually hard work. It's still a few years away from being, a technology where you hit print and you get perfect parts coming off the machine. There's a lot of work needed afterwards to give it the right surface finish.
Oh, I see.
I mean, if you remember your old Yoda figurine, it wasn't the best smooth iPhone quality
Correct.
You have
surface
to polish
finish.
it up, didn't you, after that? Yeah.
It's better today, but still needs a long way to
All
go.
right. So it's not printing and then shipping, it's printing and there's a process
There's some work to
afterwards.
do, and then you ship.
Yeah. And so do you have a business that does this.
Well, I'm
Or
with
do
the
you-
university, but I also have my own. I make guitars that are 3D printed, so that's my own sort of
Right.
hobby business, and I just sell these guitars around the world. So yeah,
3D printed guitars.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Have we got a person that we should talk to? It's Stephanie Pride,
Oh, yeah.
who is at the Wellington event yesterday, which was all about creativity with
Yep.
tech, and she particularly comes from the arts tech and really want to hone it down, symphony orchestras.
Oh, that would have been, yeah. I mean, symphony orchestra, if you think about wind instruments, I mean,
Yeah.
that's where I'd really like to get into, because you can sort of direct the wind over weird-shaped cavities. Imagine you can do a flute that plays chords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't quite know
also-
how you change the chords, but it'd be
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
to
yeah.
try.
That's another
Yeah.
problem to solve
Well,
later.
also, she was talking about, there's the Stradivarius
Yep.
in violins, and there's can we make one that,
Yep.
a blind test, for instance? Those that know, I wouldn't know the difference anyway, but could you tell the
Absolutely.
difference?
Look, I mean, they've printed violins and they sound great. The problem is, a lot of this stuff, it's like vinyl versus digital. Somebody who prefers vinyl, doesn't matter what you do, you will never convince them otherwise. And it's the same with if it's not a Stradivarius,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if it's printed out of usually a plastic, it's a high-end, really expensive plastic, but it's just not wood, so
Yeah.
it's just not the same.
Oh, I hate those. Anyway, those people, mate. You're out
just
there.
wrong.
I know you're out there listening, but jeez. You can put the little angry face on that
Go
if
on
you
then.
want. You don't have to do There's all those other ones. You've got an angry face. You could do that one.
So we're here at the Fourth Revolution event. Now, we were talking earlier about that. What do you think the Fourth Revolution is?
That's really the toughest question. I'm actually not even convinced it is a revolution. I
Right.
think the big change over the last 10 years is that we all have supercomputers in our hands. All our mobile phones. So it's people getting data, getting information. Most of the Industry 4.0, it's basically automation. That's been around for 50 years. The same, big data, connected devices. We've had sensors on devices for a long, long time. The difference now is data getting to you, the user, the people, in a way that you couldn't 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It is. Literally, your iPhone, your phone is a super. It's got more processing power than the rockets that NASA
That's
shot
right.
into space, and that's what's changed. That's what's been the game changer, I think. And now it's how people are using it to do new things.
Yes. Well, as you say, that automated manufacturing has happened, but it's always been. The classic for me was the Japanese car manufacturing.
Yeah.
That we've seen robots for a very long time.
Absolutely.
However, they're now becoming, or not necessarily robots, but that technology is becoming democratized, for want of a better phrase.
Yep. And 3D printing is another perfect example of that. Now, we're not there yet, but
Yes.
the idea that we're all going to have 3D printers at home. Now, I don't think it'll ever happen where we're going to manufacture stuff at home.
Okay.
But toys and hobbies, absolutely.
yeah.
But, that whole idea of, instead of shipping products around the world, we go to your local pack and save and they have a 3D printer there and you say, I'd like my chair printed with your memory stick. Come back an hour later after a cup of coffee and they've got your custom chair that fits your bum perfectly done for you. The technology is not there yet, but it's heading in that direction.
So the technology is not there, or is it's not cost effective
It's
yet?
not cost effective. The technology also has a long way to go.
Okay.
Big things are expensive.
Yeah.
Small things, quite reasonable.
Yeah.
Other things like, if you print a chair and you sit on it and the leg breaks off, who's responsible? Is it you who designed the chair? Is it Raj who
sat
bought
on
your
the
design
chair.
and
Yeah.
modified it?
Yeah.
Is it the
Yeah.
company that printed it for you? There's a lot of stuff around there that we don't quite know yet.
All I know is it's not me. So, I think that's solved.
It was
isn't
Raj, I saw him do
it's-
it.
Exactly. It was nothing to do with me, mate. It's not even buyer beware. It's like, well, what have I bought? Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
is
bought
like
plan.
that. Yeah. And it is changing. It's getting better and better day by day. But we still have a few years before we get to that level of manufacturing on demand, where we want it, when we want
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But it's getting there.
Can you put a time scale on that?
Well, Volkswagen, they're already making spare parts for cars using additive manufacturing, metal spare
Additive,
parts.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you could go into if we had a Volvo distributor, for instance, you'd be going, oh, my thingy's broke.
Well, the idea is, instead of having a warehouse full of gears and
Yeah.
bits, they print it on demand. Now, they've put some provisos. It's got to be small because big parts are expensive. It's got to be not visible because the surface finish ain't good enough
Oh, okay.
today.
Yeah.
So it's got to be something that the customer is not going to see,
Yeah.
and also not critical.
Yeah.
Because if it breaks and crashes the car,
Yeah.
again, problems.
But that little widgety thing, that thing that sticks under the whatever and it's snapped and bits fall off.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And every day, every week, every year, the speed's increasing, so it's getting cheaper,
Yeah.
it's getting better, stronger parts. So my prediction, in the next 5 to 10 years, we will start to see more on-demand manufacturing.
Wicked.
Wow.
And you're going to be a part of that, of course.
Absolutely.
So when people want to know more about this,
Yeah.
and they do want to know more because they've all liked this,
Haven't
you're
they
liking it,
just?
aren't you? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, I'll be at the university, one of the universities here, University of Auckland, from January. But otherwise, they can email me anywhere around the world. Just Google me, Google 3D printed guitars. I'll come up, and they can shoot.
3D
me a
printed. Just Google 3D printed guitars.
You'll find me and
Come on.
send me an email.
Place an
Always
order
happy
and
to
then he'll
talk.
get in touch with you.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
First one's free. Second one after that costs you a fortune. Excellent. Thank you
amazing.
so
Thanks very
much.
much.
No,
That was
absolute
great.
pleasure.
Oh, I wish we had
Thanks,
more
guys. Thanks,
time.
Raj.
I've got some more questions. Why is it more expensive for big ones at the moment? Is it the stuff?
It's the stuff. It's the lasers
Yeah.
that you need in there that make it fairly
Just need
expensive.
bigger
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Sorry, that was I just had to ask that question.
It's the geek
Thank
talk.
you. Yeah, thank you so much.
No, thank you, guys. Thanks, Mike.
Excellent.
Cheers, Raj.
Thanks.
Cheers. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Olaf. I'll grab that. Thank you. 3D printed
I want to know
guitars.
more. That's so
Yeah.
cool. That is so cool.